Yankee colors again.
Wait, seriously? Oh my
Is that
goodness.
a Yankee collar though? That's my complaint. Come on, the Mets gotta win tonight. I know. I was watching.
Are
I
they?
caught a little of it.
Before you go
Yeah.
in the mic. Good, how are you?
Delvin, how you doing? Good to see you. All day. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're assistant commissioner? Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I was just talking, some of my constituents, Mr. Commissioner, just rolled up to me asking for a speed bump. We need to run across the speed bump. Some of my constituents. Oh, this is
I was wondering. Wait. 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 Was that's who's at the corner?
Yeah.
And they were saying.
Your sister and brethren. Jamaican.
Well, just
Oh, now they ours now.
Oh, now you gonna. What?
Right.
What-
But
what
what
gone?
you eat not planting.
Exactly. Oh yes. No.
Right? I'm a dumb
Fishy,
slut.
fishy.
I'm Jamaican adjacent. Are you guys crazy? I am Jamaican adjacent. Everybody thinks I'm Jamaican. So, Mr. Perkins is on his way.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right, got it. Okay.
He's one of the leaders on the
Truck task force.
Okay. I know. I got some cool people in my council district too. Can you imagine tomorrow? Thank you.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he would have saw this on the news and been like,
Yeah. Like, no.
"It's good move." Smart.
So listen, I should have pointed them to you if I needed to. I was just talking about how DOT has a very convoluted process for requesting. Yo, bro, we should have
I have no complaints. I just got my speed hump done from 7 years ago.
Oh really?
234th Street. 7 years. 7 years. 7 years. They approved it. And so I'm like taking D3 to school, summer rising, and it's like, oh, they're putting it in finally.
Oh nice.
7 years.
I feel like they would probably want
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm for both. I'm for both. I'm for both. I was talking about how efficient your agencies are now. Like I got a speed bump.
I was talking to one of my constituents yesterday because she's like,
I need to put the light up there. Oh my God. You know what? I got it. All right. Good evening, everyone. Members of the media, thank you for being here. My name is Chief Jeff Madry. I'm the Chief of Patrol for the NYPD, and I had the honor to stand here with the Mayor of the City of New York, the Honorable Eric Adams, our Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough Queens South, Assistant Chief Kevin Williams, and Deputy Inspector Brian O'Sullivan, who's the Commanding Officer of the Traffic Enforcement Division. Also standing with us are our elected officials from Queens, our commissioners, and I want to thank them for not only being here, but along with the community, bringing this issue to our attention. So we're here to highlight the recent work of the NYPD, our officers, and our traffic enforcement agents during Operation Heavy Duty Enforcement, heavy duty for short, targeting illegal overnight parking of commercial vehicles in residential neighborhoods of southern Queens. New York City parking rules prohibit these vehicles from parking overnight on residential streets from 9 p.m. at night to 5 o'clock the following morning, and that's 7 days a week. This is a multifaceted effort consisting of 3 teams utilizing heavy tow operations, along with applying boots to vehicles, as well as issuing summonses for the parking infractions. This operation spans across several NYPD commands, bureaus, and other city agencies. This enforcement action is a direct result of community concerns and community complaints. And I spend a lot of time, on a personal note, I spend a lot of time in this neighborhood, and I've noticed personally how the residential blocks have been inundated with these large vehicles that should not be parking overnight. These vehicles negatively impact our communities here. The residents reached out, and of course the NYPD responded. Our department, to date, took action, and in the first 5 days of this endeavor, which started on Monday, August 15th, and went to Friday, August 19th, we issued 635 summonses. We attached 89 boots to vehicles, and we towed 55 illegally parked vehicles, some of them which you see right here in the backdrop behind us. And I'd like to take a moment to thank the owners of this facility here in supporting us in this endeavor, allowing us to use this facility to store these vehicles and use it as our operations center. We're committed here at the NYPD to improving the quality of life of every New Yorker in every New York City neighborhood. We will do this in close collaboration with the residents, our other leaders here, people who work in our neighborhoods, and visitors to our city. It is very critical that the NYPD listens to the people we serve. And this is just the latest example of how we're working together to make New York City safer and better. So now I have the honor here to introduce our mayor, the Honorable Eric Adams.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much. And our partners here, Queensborough President Donovan Richards, Councilwoman Savina Brooks Powers, Councilwoman Natasha Williams, Councilwoman Linda Lee, our civic groups and organizations that are here. This is a real problem. And during the campaign trail, I recall the borough president talking about the park areas, Springfield, Boulevard, parts of the Bronx, where these trucks are lining the neighborhoods. And some parks you cannot even see outside the park because trucks are lined up. And we committed that we were going to tackle this problem head on. And we knew that it was going to take some coordination. We're clear that many of the truck drivers now have to take the necessary rest, mandated rest by federal law. We understand that. And we are partnering with a combination of city agencies to deal with this long-term issue. But in the interim, we have used social media and direct interaction and communication to tell the drivers you cannot park in residential communities. And it's not lost on us. This type of parking is not happening in affluent areas. You are not going to go in affluent parts of the city and see these 18-wheelers parked out front and it goes without enforcement. This is a residential community. They deserve the same level of quality of life that we give to other parts of the city. That is how we're going to give to every part of the city. They have been raising these concerns, these elected officials, even prior to being elected, and just community advocates. They have been raising these concerns over and over again, and those concerns have fallen on deaf ears. January 1st, 2022, a mayor came in that not only listens, but he responds. We believe in GSD, get stuff done. And we're getting it done tonight. We get it done during the day. We get it done during the afternoon. This is a problem that has been in place far too long. And so tonight, you're seeing the vehicles that were towed here. We're going to go to a location and show how we either tow or we put on the boot to send a clear message that this is not going to continue in the communities in this city. We are proud of what the police department is doing, from everything from paper plates to the illegal ATVs and dirt bikes on our roads, to targeted enforcement of noise complaints, to targeted enforcement of disruptive behavior in our city. New Yorkers are stating we want to live in a city where quality of life is considered as paramount no matter where you live and no matter what block you live on, and that is what we're doing. That's why we're out here at 9:30 p.m. to look at those who are breaking the law, that are parking on our city streets during the hours that they're not supposed to be parking. This is not a hit on those low-wage workers who are driving trucks. It is a hit on ensuring we get the quality of life that we deserve. And so I want to again thank my electeds, and I want to turn it over to our borough president. I've been seeing a lot of you, Borough President Donovan Richards, and have our elected officials say a few words because you have played a crucial role in pointing out this issue and stating that partnership between my office, City Hall, our agencies, and our elected officials. Borough President Richards said something today with a speed bump problem he had. He says your agencies are responding. We want to be known as a city agencies and administration that we respond to the needs and the calls of our local elected officials. I'm going to turn it over to Queensborough President Donovan Richards.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and it's been an honor to be with you. And earlier, as we talk about GSD, being with my sister, Councilwoman Sylvina Brooks Power, our majority whip, is proud to be out making sure the 116th precinct happens. So today is really a great day for Southeast Queens. And I want to thank you for bringing us together today to talk about an issue that infuriates me and the rest of Southeast Queens to no end. Every single night, you'll see commercial trucks parked up and down Springfield Boulevard like it's their own personal parking lot. And not just here on Springfield. You can go up to Van Wyck. You can go to many parts of this borough, and you'll see the same thing. And every night in residential streets throughout Southeast Queens, you'll see scenes just like this. And let me be clear, as the mayor said, you do not see this in affluent neighborhoods. These trucks should not be using residential streets as their parking lots. It's disrespectful to our neighbors, it's dangerous, and honestly, it's just outright dumb. Under no circumstances should we surrender our streets to these trucking companies. I've told the mayor that, I've told the NYPD that, and they've responded. And I've demanded stronger enforcement along with my colleagues, and I'll continue to do so until these trucks are a thing of the past. So, Mr. Mayor, it is great to partner with you. I look forward to partnership with our state officials as well. I know I spoke to Commissioner Rodriguez and many of my colleagues here raising the fine as well. So we look forward to working with the state as we move forward. And obviously, as the co-chair of the JFK Advisory Board, we're going to be talking to JFK of potentially having a place where we can also have long-term parking as well. So let's talk about ticketing these trucks every single night. Let's talk about enforcing the hell out of this problem like we mean business, because we do. It's ridiculous. It's time to fix it. And I know my colleagues Linda Lee, Natasha Williams, and Savina Brooks Power share my passion on this issue. And to the community, thank you for all of your advocacy, because when you advocate and speak up, you get results. So thank you, Mr. GSD.
Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to the NYPD, our partners at the Department of Transportation as well. I am Councilwoman Savina Brooks Powers, representing the 31st Council District, and I have the privilege of serving as the chair for Transportation and Infrastructure. And as a Southeast Queens resident, we all know firsthand how our quality of life continues to be diminished by the chronic illegal truck parking that takes place across our community. We do recognize now that it's not only Southeast Queens, but we do want to make sure that we are getting stuff done here in Southeast Queens and responding to our community. I know we'll be joined shortly also by a community leader that's a part of the Southeast Queens illegal truck parking task force that has been formed that crosses not only my district, but Councilmember Natasha Williams, Councilmember Linda Lee's district, and continues to expand by the week, I feel like, because, again, this is an issue that is impacting New York City. And so I am pleased at the work that is being done. Echoing what the mayor said, we recognize that this is an industry in terms of people providing for their families, but we have to find the balance and continue the conversations to find alternative options for our trucks to be able to park while at the same time not impacting the quality of life of the residents of this community. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Councilwoman Lee.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and for the Commissioner and all the other electeds and colleagues here today. So this is definitely a multifaceted issue, and there have been several attempts at fixing it with raising the fines, which we know helps, but it's not the only way that we're going to solve this problem. And we need to raise the fines, like our borough president said, but also we need to think about how to work with finding places, locations where the trucks can go. And also, you know, with the onset of the pandemic and everything that's happened, so many more of the e-commerce industry and a lot of these companies have grown. And so that's why we're seeing so many more trucks on the streets and the roads. And I got to say, we were in a meeting one time with our fellow Dem Conference folks on the council, and one person actually brought up this issue with the truck parking, and it just sparked a whole entire conversation. And we were talking about illegal truck parking for literally at least half an hour, 45 minutes. And it's something that just, it wasn't on the agenda. It just came up. And this is an issue that we're seeing across the entire city, from Staten Island to the Bronx. And I've spoken to other colleagues in other cities across the U.S., and it's not just specific to New York, but it's an issue that a lot of other folks are facing. And, you know, with the growth of this industry, we also need to bring these companies to the table as well and say, hey, how are you going to help us with this issue as well? And how can we partner and work together on this? So this is definitely a multifaceted issue, but I want to thank everyone who's here today, NYPD, for working so closely with the communities, because this is impacting all of us in terms of our daily lives, quality of life. And you know, I feel confident, though, that with this mayor and with this administration, we can definitely work closer to achieving that goal. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Williams.
Well, thank you all for coming to my district, because you are located in #Inside the 27. So I'm really excited to be here. From day one of coming into this seat, towing cars, derelict vehicles, and trucks has been one of the main things our office has been focused on. We've worked directly with police precincts to do these operations, but we're really excited that this is a whole wide effort. I want to thank Chief Williams who has come in to Clean South and has really led this effort. It's definitely something, as you've heard from everybody else, that is very important to our district. Not only seeing the trucks, but the trucks also leave trash. I just spoke to a woman just right outside of this press conference that said it's not even just the truck, it's that when they leave a whole bunch of trash. And so not only do we have to work with the Department of Transportation or the police precinct, we also then have to reach out to the Department of Sanitation to come clean the trash. So we know this is an issue. We know what the solutions are. We just all have to put our heads together to really solve the problem. And following up to what Councilmember Lee said, because we have had a lot of conversations as Queens delegation co-chairs around, one, how can we increase fines, increase enforcement, but how can we be strategic in finding places, more places for these truck drivers to park. So I look forward to working with everyone here as well as our state colleagues because they have a role in this as well to really find a core solution for this problem. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, task force leader. You worked on this. You fought for this. You know.
Good. Hey, Donovan, how you doing? Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming out, and thank you for inviting me. I was with Mrs. Perkins, so I'm a little late. But just a little bit of background. We started a task force. My name is Bill Perkins. I live in Rosedale, former president of Rosedale Civic Association and with the Eastern Queens Alliance. So we started a task force back at the end of May because one of the issues that collectively we saw as civic organizations was there's just a lot of truck parking, and the problem had increased over the COVID period. So we got together and we said, what can we do about it? So long story short, we wrote a letter to you, Mr. Mayor, and we then were engaged with our elected officials. So I look to my left here, Savina Brooks Powers. We work with Council Member, Borough President Richards, and then our other council members here and their staff. And we meet bi-weekly really to make sure we are identifying kind of where the locations are, where the hot spots are. We keep the civics informed. Chief Williams here, I talked to him, I think his first day on the job, which was Memorial Day, and I introduced myself, and he says, I know about the truck issue, we're going to get to it. And I applaud him for it. He sent me an email on last Thursday about this initiative that he put together, really a SWAT team of towing trucks. But what we look for is a holistic solution. It's not just, towing the trucks and ticketing the trucks. We recognize there is a capacity issue with parking of vehicles. We recognize the economic situations where more people are in the trucking industry. So our holistic solution, at least for this area, is to make sure that we find capacity for trucks to park. We inform the truckers where they can park. And, we get the trucks out of our open spaces, our parks, and around our neighborhoods. So, man, I'm glad to be here today with this force of city agencies and our mayor out to really kind of move this forward. Mr. Mayor, what we do want is we hear you're organizing a citywide task force, and we think that our task force would be a great pilot. So as you're looking at, someone to kind of work through and test this out, our task force is ready for the charge.
Great. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Open to a few questions before we get to work. And we want to find easier locations for them while we're working out this long-term problem. But there are parking facilities around the city where they can park, that can accommodate trucks. But when you say it's easier just to park in a residential area because everyone is ignoring it, then you are ignoring the possibility. They're allowing their convenience to inconvenience everyday residents. So there are places around the city that we can look at, and then we, as a city, can find locations such as the Marine Terminal in Brooklyn and Sunset Park. We can look at potential using spaces in a Navy Yard. There are other sites that are more suitable to park trucks than on a block where you have residential communities. Yes, you can, Sabina Brooks.
So I just want to also add that the task force, in collaboration with our council offices and the NEDC, have met recently with the Port Authority in terms of the Southeast Queens community to look and explore other solutions, possibly on airport where there's a lot of land that's there. So we are working with the city agencies that are working to get it done so that we can find that happy median. Thank you.
Good question. How much worse has it gotten? One of you
Bill,
want?
you should come in. We all can.
I can tell you just in southeastern Queens, we have to. I can tell you from southeastern Queens in my neighborhood, Brookville Park. 4 or 5 years ago, there would be 2 or 3 trucks parked. So it would just be a matter of just calling up the 105th precinct and then working through that. Now there are 30 trucks parked. And in some locations, if you go down Springfield Boulevard, you'll see 50 trucks parked. We had a task force member actually take down the license plates number of 50 trucks, and we filed 311 complaints. So it is not just arithmetically increased, it's exponentially increased.
I want to also thank our amazing DOT commissioner for being here, Adonis Rodriguez, for the coordination of this initiative. Any other questions? Yes. Ladies, one of you ladies want to tackle that? One of our council people?
I mean, the simple answer is yes. So again, one of the operations we do in our office with the precincts directly is tag and tow operations, usually for derelict or abandoned vehicles, and that has also exponentially increased. So the short answer is yes.
Let me just add on as the councilwoman alluded to, and as you alluded to, Mr. Mayor, the convenience part. And I'm being anecdotal here, but some of the folks who drive these trucks, and I think the NYPD could give you more info on that, live right here. So it's convenient for them to also park and go into their home. And that's not right. You should be responsible to your community. Your community has fought hard to become homeowners, to preserve the quality of life that we have. And it's unfortunate that we have people here who also are a part of the problem as well. So if you're a part of the problem, you're definitely not a part of the solution. And you need to also, for those of you who are listening out there, we want to work with you, but you cannot use our streets as a parking lot.
Okay, look at these trucks. They stink. Say, what is Eric doing over here?
That's where they normally park.
All right, so we're gonna go to one of the locations. All right, ready to go? You can follow us, those who want to be a part of this.
Okay.